Good morning, dear students. Once again, we meet for our English language class, and today we are going to discuss book review. Now, book review is part of your report writing and is therefore something very important. You could be getting a book review question in your report writing, which will carry 20 marks, and you have to have 300 words for that question. So clues will obviously be provided with the question, but you should know the steps and the exact format in which a book review should be written. Now, in the internet, when you look for a book review sample, you will find that there are a lot of different methods and formats available, which can create some amount of confusion in your minds. So instead of looking blindly for the right format, it is better if you try and follow what I'm explaining or what I'm going to explain here in this video. So you must watch from the beginning till the end, and please make sure that all that you see in this video and the format which I have provided in this video, make sure that you write it down in your English language copies, so that the format should be written down in your English language copies, so that later on when you practice writing book review, you should know that what are the steps you need to follow in order to write it successfully. And remember, your word limit is 300 words and the question will carry 20 marks. So it is part of your report writing. It is a very commonly asked question in report writing. Therefore, you must do a lot of practice, and you must be very well aware of how exactly the book review has to be written. Now, before I begin with the format, let me tell you something about what the exact contents of a book review are supposed to be, for which I will show you something which is available here. Now see here, it says book or movie review template. Now this is definitely taken from the internet. You can also find it in the net if you want, but let us see what are the components of a book review. Now, movie review and book review are more or less according to the format more or less the same, but then there are certain differences in the subparts which I'll be discussing in a separate video for movie review or film review. Now today we are trying to focus on book review. A book review, like a movie review, consists of summary and analysis. Your review should start with an introduction. Then second step is summary of the book. Third step is analysis. And the fourth step is conclusion. So these are the four major steps. These are the four things that the examiner would like to see in your paper when you are writing a book review. The same applies for a movie review also, but we will discuss that later. Now let's see what the introduction is supposed to contain. Now on your screen you can see the box has been made, and inside that it's written, state the name of the book, author and date of publication. This should come in the paragraph, the introduction paragraph. You should begin with this, that is, give the name of the book, then mention the name of the author, and then the date of publication of the book. Then the second thing that you must write is outline the thesis, main ideas of the book. Just a brief 1 or 2 sentence outline of what the book is all about. Third step is you have to give the thesis statement, and your main ideas will be something beginning in this way. I really liked this book because. I did not like this book because. So it is better to say liked than to say not liked. Then you have, this book is informative and practical because. So whatever you feel, or this book is boring and unorganized because. So pros and cons need to be discussed, but don't discuss the negativities in the introduction itself. This is my suggestion for ISC report writing book review. You are supposed to talk about the basic facts in the introduction. So I'll be coming to the details of what you should mention in the introduction. First is the name of the book, second is the name of the author, and then the date of publication, and you must speak more about the book, the outline of the story of the book, and a little bit about the author in the introduction. So that would be ideal for your introduction part. That is the first paragraph of your review. Then second paragraph, after that you change the paragraph, come to the second paragraph, that is called the summary. Now here you have to briefly outline the main elements of the book. Should involve who, what, where, when and why. This book is about, the setting is so and so, the main character or characters are so and so, the theme of the story is so and so. The book argues that the author uses, instead of authors use, maybe sometimes it's co-authored, more than one author writing a particular book, 2 people or 3 people combined. Generally educational books or your course books or syllabus books, the ones which you study for your different subjects are sometimes co-authored by more than one author. So in that case, but it is better to go for something which is outside your syllabus. Don't try to write the review of a book which is part of your syllabus. If you do that, you are likely to lose marks. Here it is a test to check whether you read outside books or not, other than what is prescribed for you. So don't try writing about your short stories, the book which is provided for your short stories, or for the book which is provided for your poetry or the Tempest. You're not supposed to do that. You are supposed to write about a book which is completely away from your syllabus. So these are some of the ingredients of the summary. And the summary should also include the analysis or rather the description of the plot of the story. I'll come to the format soon after this. So now moving on to analysis. In analysis part, critically state what you like and do not like about the book. So in this you are supposed to state what you like and what you do not like about the book. This is the place where you can do all your criticism. Your critical remarks, pros and cons about the book can be discussed here. Explain your ideas with specific examples from the book. Here they have given you some hints which can be used. So this section can be more than one paragraph. See, report writing, whether it is a review writing, whether it is any other form of report, should always be done in several paragraphs. Not one single boring continuous paragraph, but several paragraphs. Then finally conclusion, restate your thesis, summarize your main ideas, call to action. You must read this book because, do not read this book because, you will like this book if you like blah blah blah, whatever be the case. So you should also try to define the book's genre and make connections to another book or to yourself. Now let's see the format which I have specially prepared for you. So have a look at this format. This format may not be available in the net at all. This is totally prepared by me for your understanding so that you can follow it and you can write your review accordingly. See, this is the format. First and foremost, on top you have the heading. Now the heading should be the name of the book with a catchy phrase to go with the name of the book. So you have to be very innovative in that. You have to think up a good suitable name or a catchy phrase to go with the title of the book. Then on top you have to, in 2 side by side rows, you have to write title of the book, author, name of the author, number of pages the book has, language, price, then genre. Genre means fiction, non-fiction, whatever kind of book it is. So you have to mention that, the name of the publisher. So this comes on top. Immediately after the heading, you need to write these things. Okay, and between the heading, what is not shown here, please remember, between the heading and before you write title of the book, language, etc., etc., you can leave a line just under the heading. You can leave a line and you can write review by, put a colon and write your full name. Then leave a line and then these headings can come in, these subheadings can come in, and you can write these after that. So after that, once you have finished writing all these things, these are just single line fill-ups which you have to do with these subheadings. You can leave a line and then begin with the introduction. Now here I have shown what you are supposed to write in the introduction. You are supposed to write about the book, something concerning the book. That should come into your introduction. In short, that is what the story is all about. So that can be mentioned, and about the author. That is a little bit about the author who has authored the book. So that comes in your introduction. Then change the paragraph and give the summary. Now in the summary part, again, there are two things that you need to discuss. Not only the plot of the story, but also the characters who play the different roles in the story. So if it is a fiction, if it is a story, you can discuss what happens in the story, give a brief summary of the entire story depicted in the book and mention the characters and how they interact with each other and the main plot, and if there are any subplots, all those things, all the details can come in the summary. Remember, this has to be a bigger paragraph, and you can have parts again in this paragraph, like plot can be discussed in a separate paragraph, characters can be discussed in a separate paragraph. Then come to the next paragraph, analysis. Now in the analysis, you are supposed to analyze the pros and cons of the book. How far it is useful, how far it is not so useful, how far is the story interesting, or how far is it boring, how does it start, how is it initially, whether it is boring in the starting and then becomes interesting towards the middle and becomes very, very interesting towards the end, or whatever you feel. So your feelings, your analysis, your critical remarks, comments, everything can come in this paragraph. And after you finish with your analysis, like any report or in a case of any composition whatsoever, you should end with a proper conclusion, that is a summing up of what you have discussed in the review. You can come to the point and you can say, so all in all, we can say that this book is so and so. It's a good read for particularly those who are of the age group of so and so. Suppose you are analyzing Harry Potter, or maybe you are analyzing Half a Girlfriend. There are so many books which the teenagers love to read. So if you have been reading any of these books, or there are many more which you would like to analyze, you can finally sum up with your feelings about the book in the conclusion. So in this way, you are supposed to write the book review. I'll show you the format once again. I am zooming out to show you the entire format. You can see on your screen, though there is a page separation in between, that doesn't matter. Just the overall format. You can take a screenshot from this video and copy this down in your language copy, so that you know the format, so that in future when you are writing book reviews, you should not have any problem. So you see, first you begin with the heading. Below the heading, leaving a line, what is not shown here, as I told you earlier, you must write review by and then your full name, then leave a line, then make 2 rows. On one side, write title of the book. Here there is no hard and fast rule. You can write these subheadings either on the left hand side or on the right hand side. Here I have done at random, so you can also do the same, but begin always with the title of the book and the author, then number of pages, language, price, genre, fiction or non-fiction, publisher, name of the publisher. So all these things. Once these details are given on top, then change the paragraph, come to introduction. Need not mention the word introduction, straight away begin with a paragraph, and in one paragraph discuss 2 things about the book and about the author mainly. Then change the paragraph, come to summary. Here you can have 2 separate paragraphs. In one paragraph discuss the plot, in the next paragraph discuss the characters. So you give the summary of the whole book or the story of the whole book in your own words, explain nicely, and then come to analysis. Here you are supposed to change the paragraph again, and here you are supposed to discuss the pros and cons, plus minus, positivities, negativities, pros and cons, everything concerning the book. Your critical remarks will come in this section, and finally you will do the summing up, and that is called your conclusion. So this is the way that you should write your book review. I hope I have been able to make you understand. Thank you very much.